spreadsheet and then copy and paste the data into a new spreadsheet, and then try and find the average number of Facebook friends.
Okay. Link to Udacion's Facebook friends equals, I can't type anything. Okay. Oh, copy and paste the data into your own spreadsheet. How do I do that? Oh, from Google Drive. Looks like I have to sign in. I can go to Create Spreadsheet. Let's call this the same thing that says here. This way I can reference back to this in the future. Okay, so I have to copy and paste the data. Edit. Copy is not there. I'm gonna copy it by brute force. Command C. Maybe I'll just try copying the data. Command C. Command V. Yay, it worked! What's something else I could have done? File. Maybe download as? Microsoft Excel. Hey, maybe this will work. It did! I have an exact copy of the data and I can do the exact same thing in Microsoft Excel. Well, I think I'll use Google Docs for now. Oh no, I accidentally clicked on it and it's gone. But here it is in my drive. From your Google account, you can see all the options here at the top. And here's my spreadsheet. Let's get to know this spreadsheet. This is cell A1. This is cell A2. Each cell has a name, just like you and me. Except we usually don't have numbers in our names. There's no comma or special characters in the name of the cell. And it's always the letter first and then the number. What do you think this cell is? Let's put a header on this data so we know what it is. Insert row above. This is the header and is not part of the data. It just tells us what we're measuring. So that means the data is from cell A2 to A28. I wonder what cool stuff we could do with this data. How about data sort range? Oh, data has header row. I almost said data has header row. Sort by number of Facebook friends. Indeed. What else could we do? What's this? That looks like sigma sum. Here are a bunch of functions. Let's add them. It automatically put the formula here. We could have written that ourselves though, and not been so lazy. Actually, let's do some formulas. Let's calculate the average. Equals average A2, because that's where our data starts, all the way to A28. Cool. And then we can see here in the formula bar what we just typed. Let's find the deviation from the mean. There's no formula for that, you just have to intuitively know what it is. Deviation, meaning how far something differs from the mean, how far each value differs from the mean. How do we find the difference? By subtracting. And how do we start our formulas? With an equals. A2 minus, and now we always want this value to be constant. So instead of just writing E1, we're going to put a $sign in between the letter and the number. That'll keep it constant when we copy and paste this for the other cells. So that makes sense, right? 0 minus 584 point blah 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 should be negative 584 point blah blah blah. So now there are a few things we can do. We can go to this corner here where there's a plus sign and drag it down. And then we get each deviation from the mean. In fact, if we click on it, we see in the formula bar, this is A10 here, minus the mean, which is E1. Another thing we could do is click on this cell, push Command C, or if you're on a PC, Control C, go to cell A2, push Command down, go to cell B28, push Command Shift up, and then that area is highlighted, and then push Command V. What's the sum of the deviations? Equals sum B2 colon B28. It's like 0. It should always be about 0. Let's name this column Deviations, xi minus x bar, and x bar is the mean. Okay, let's do squared deviations. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's just the deviations squared. Equals b2 squared. Now again, Command C, go to cell B2, Command down, go to cell C28, Command Shift up, Command V. I'm telling you, if you get used to those keyboard shortcuts, you'll be able to do things way fast, especially if you have a list of 500 data values. It might be easier for short data sets to just drag this down, but for large data sets, these keyboard shortcuts will make your life a lot easier. So now we have our squared deviations. Let's find the sum of squares. Equals sum C2 colon C28. Error! I must have typed something wrong. Let's look and see what I did. Oh, there's a comma right there. Let's delete it. Now we get the sum of squares, or SS. Let's find the variance. That's simply the sum of squares divided by n, equals C30 divided by, and it looks like there are 27 values. This goes until C28, but there's a header here, so it's not using one of the cells. So there are only 27 values. Cool, so this is the variance. Should probably write this down just so you remember. Oh, and look, it says all changes saved in Drive. Every change you make is automatically saved in Drive. That is so awesome! I love Google Docs. Notice that for variance, we divided by n. But if we were treating this as a sample, we would divide by n minus 1. Okay, let's find the standard deviation. Equals square root of C31. So here is the standard deviation, which remember, it's represented by that Greek symbol sigma. What if someone had a lot of Facebook friends, like 100,000? How would that change our mean, standard deviation, and variance? Well, let's say that instead of having 408 Facebook friends, he has 100,000. Ready for this? Whoa! Everything changed automatically. The deviations are huge because the mean is huge, and the squared deviations are huge, and everything's huge. That's so cool. And then you don't have to do anything different. What if everybody had 0 Facebook friends? Then everything's just 0. Are spreadsheets totally awesome or what?